it's Eltham leading by 13 points. Good Friday footy.
And two ruckmen go up. Eltham going to get the first clearance, and they're going to look to go forward, and that's going to be Weatherald who has the ball. His kick, just a daisy cutter, but it's going to go inside forward 50 through Montanaro. He's going to have a long shot at goal. He might bounce through and just out to the left, and might go out of bounds. It looks like no. So Mary's going to get a quick clearance outside of defensive 50, and a kick down the wing, long towards Miles Gordon. He can't take the mark, and there's a big pack of players forming over it. A quick kick, and just bouncing around a little bit between a few players. Eltham getting a few quick hands out. It's going to be Bell Chambers who gets a quick kick, quick handball, and he goes over to Matthew Keys, who goes long inside forward 50.
So it's a long kick, unable to take the mark. In front of the eyes there was Williamson. Got a good period on it, but it couldn't bring it to ground level. Now an underground handball for the Boroughs, a good one. It's a 3-on-1 on the far side. They can work it out to Sane. Got it off to Nick Dean, and Nick Dean kicks a long ball towards centre half forward. Good looking kick. Is that a free kick for a chop of the arms? I think it's going to be paid. Costello.
Advantage.
An advantage played, and they can move the ball inside 50. I think all the players stopped. The ball stayed in the field of play. This would be something else. This one goes through for a goal. It's just gone near side. Well, that's something you don't see every day. And it was Connor who got it in for a minor score. But the ball got advantages played, as Nicholas said. It stopped just inside the boundary line, about 30 out. The two players at the ball both didn't do anything.
No.
Costello realised the umpire called advantage, and then he picked it up and just missed the near side. And it's back to a 12-point margin.
And Eltham coming out of defence now. Going to be a few players running onto it. Looks like it's going to be Tolly who gets a quick kick forward, but so Mary's able to clear. A lot of pressure inside, and Eltham get the ball back, and a quick kick inside forward 50. Can't take the mark. It's spoiled by St Mary's, and the puck players is going to jump on top of it, and the umpire will call for a ball up.
So Jasper was that laid that tackle there. I think some of the Eltham crowd wanting a free kick for a chop of the arms there, but none giving there. That was on O'Regan. Of course, 4-time premiership player with ball, and Mark O'Regan playing his first game for the Panthers as Williamson grabs it out of the ruck, gave it to McCaffer. His ball towards the goal. That is a great mark. Is it Lucci who's gone back to the flight? Well, it won't be rewarded because a free kick's been paid. His teammate Miners was said to be holding Michael Still, said the umpire, and it would have been one of the marks of the year just about the opening round of the season. It was Lucci running back with the flight, decapitated just about as he went back to take that mark, running back with the flight of the footy. But it's to no avail because the free kick's been paid the other way, and Michael's Still now from point blank range will go back and extend Eltham's lead to 18 points. He's had a few sights at it in the first term, hasn't got a goal to his name yet, but this from the top of the square won't trouble him, and Michael Still puts it through for a goal, and Eltham moves to 5 goals to 7, 37. St Mary's 3 goals, 119, and if you pour Adam Lucci there, you think all that effort and it goes unrewarded. He'll be feeling sore, and even more so with Eltham kicking their second consecutive goal of the game and extending to an 18-point lead.
Very harsh there, that decision I felt, but at the end of the day, a fantastic, nice way to kick that goal there from Michael Still. But even just in the lead up to that play as well, just dominating out of the ruck work, McCaffrey able to get the hands very quickly, sending it deep inside forward 50, already putting those St Mary's defenders under pressure, and despite the great almost mark that it was, a good goal there from Michael.
So it's going to be Cantwell, and looks like it could be Robert Todd in there for St Mary's doing the ruck work. Eltham going to get another quick clearance. Anton Wood's going to jump on top of this ball. He's bumped off it. Now St Mary's a quick clearing kick, and it's going to be a mark taken in there. Looks like it could be Robert Todd, just defensive side of the centre circle.
And the sprinting ball wide, charging the ball was Hockey. That's a huge collision between he and Tim Curry. Ball spills at the back. Yeomans runs into the open goal and misses wide. That was a massive collision. Players running from opposite directions there. Hocking eyes only for the ball leading up, running back the other way, Tim Curry. Curry bounced straight up. Hocking took a little while longer, and he's running across to the interchange bench, so we might get Josh Ward to just keep an eye on that. Mitch Hocking limping towards the benches. A big falcon that comes at the head of Dambrowskis now at half back. Shuttled handball underground by Avramov was probably a throw, gets away with on there, and now the ball goes out of bounds. Just a bit untidy, that passage, and Dambrowskis, we might have heard Sheridan imprinted on his forehead at the moment. That ball came in hard and he wasn't able to get his hands up.
I'm still struggling to believe that Tim Curry bounced back up after that hit. That was a huge contest
Straight
between
away.
the two players, and he looked like he was going to come off second best, but he bounced straight back up.
And Martin saw of it as well. He probably would have backed Yeomans to kick the goal, running into the open goal mouth, and he just he kicked it out to the left. But player of his calibre, you would have backed him in there. So an opportunity went begging for St Mary's, who trailed by 17 points. It's 20 St Mary's, Eltham 37, 4 minutes played, second term. The ball now at half forward for Eltham. Pack flies through the hands of the would-be markers there. At ground level, Maggio tried to crash through, he was going nowhere. Ball came out, Reynolds picks it up, he can dart a ball down the line, that's a great kick. Spots Yeomans I should say, yes on the end. And Yeomans now in true centre wing, assessing his options. Pavilion side of the ground, sends a high ball up. No one really flew it. Todd maybe the target, but he didn't go up. Ronald sharked it nicely, and the skipper gets the ball inside forward 50 for St Mary's. Paddles off to Keys, who disposed of that illegally. It was a silly option to take the advantage there. That was Todd, who was being tackled as he picked the ball up, still had the shot on goal, and it went in for a minor score. And denied his teammate an opportunity to shoot from about 40 metres out.
Spoke about composure from St Mary's at times during the first quarter. That was the example where they really needed to just go back, have the shot on goal, and if they were able to get it, just to be able to assemble the lead.
The other thing is, it's such a hot day. You just give, having a shot, you get your 30 seconds, you give the midfielders an opportunity to just have a breather, and I'm sure they'd be screaming out for that as the ball now back inside forward 50. The target for St Mary's was Costello. He was unable to take the mark, but what it does is it just keeps the ball in play, doesn't it? And the midfielders just don't get any chop out whatsoever. So it's St Mary's 21, Eltham is 37. As the ball's thrown back in, 45 out from the St Mary's goal. Montanaro sharked it, he was tackled straight away, and now the ball's kicked inside 50 by Petroro. High ball to the top of the goal mouth. Where are the Flyers? Well, they're there, and it's an Eltham mark. A free kick's also been paid, so advantage is played. That was Sinclair. Put it out into space, and this is Jarvis. Just backtrack and send a nice measured ball towards centre wing, went under Bell Chambers' hands. Connor was fantastic for St Mary's, charged through, keeps the ball in play, still kept it in. Tidy work on the boundary line, eventually tackled out of bounds, and I was mentioning multiple times throughout this game, but plenty to like about Tane Potter.
Yeah, definitely, just energetic, always keep the contest alive. I think that he could have just resigned to getting that ball over the boundary, but he tried to get it forward even those extra few metres, and it worked really well for St Mary's as the ball is thrown back in just outside St Mary's forward 50. Going to be Cantwell getting the attack down for Eltham. McCaffrey's going to find it. He's tackled straight away. And now St Mary's going to get a quick clearance. That's Connor Kassane, gets a handball out. And a quick kick towards goal. That's going to be Rory Hanlon. And just out to the right of goal. So 4 behinds here for St Mary's in this quarter. Takes them to 3 goals for 22. Eltham 5 goals, 7-37. There's something about this end of the ground. Players just not able to kick straight the first half.
You spotted 4-11 to this end of the ground, the creek end of Eltham Central, as the ball's now brought back into play by Weatherall. It's a lovely kick for Abramoff, and they're away through the middle. A chain of handballs, Sinclair over the top, Glasgow to McCaffer. He's tackled straight away, but it's still spilt out. Numbers still with Eltham here. It's a smart paddle back to McCaffer, and now he spreads a wide ball. They've got numbers out here. Waldron can run all the way through, have the flying shot on goal, and that's not going to trouble the scorers. In fact, it does. Just sneaks in for a minor score.
Eltham have been able to do that multiple times in this game so far. Get that ball from deep in defence straight to attack within 3 or 4 kicks. So something for St Mary's to look to try and stop.
So it's a 16-point lead to Eltham as the ball comes out towards centre wing. Really good contest there for St Mary's by Gedge. Kept the ball alive, and now he gets it back. He's done well on the boundary line. His kicking board was over the head of Dean, and taking the intercept mark was Lane Sinclair.
He's been very hot early in his term, Sinclair. He's been very good.
Yeah, he's got the big job on Dean. He's the best and fairest winner for St Mary's last campaigns. McCaffrey now kicks the ball inside forward 50. Kicked it to the space. Got the forward to lead there, and the mark taken on the slide by Daniel Jarvis, who's just lost a boot there as he took the mark. He'll go back and shoot from just inside 50 metres, but it was a great kick by McCaffrey. As I said, just put it into the space, telling the forward, lead into that area, and gave him really a paddock to run into, and he took the mark on the slide. So this would hurt St Mary's. You feel he's had all the play in the last few minutes. He's going to chip into the pocket though, and it's a good looking kick too. Is it a mark going to be paid? It is. And getting in front to take that mark is big Matt Williamson, and he'll be shooting from about 20 metres out, tightish angle, but you'd back him from here. But just to go back to my previous point, last 5 minutes the Borough have had some golden opportunities. They've run into 2 open goals, had a mark spilled inside forward 50, and now Eltham consecutive inside 50s and a chance to get a goal, which you feel would be against the run of play based on the last 5 minutes.
So it's going to be Williamson now, ended up pretty close to the boundary on the outer side here at Eltham Central Park. He comes in and takes his shot at goal. looks like just out to the right. Very close, good effort from that angle. It's going to be another behind for Eltham. Takes them to 5 goals 9, 39 leading St Mary's, 3 goals 4.
Third behind now for Williamson. He's had 1 goal 3 for the afternoon so far. You feel like even if it was 2 goals 2 or 3 goals 1, Eltham's lead could be very much in doubt, without doubt.
It just doesn't feel like they have an answer for him in defence, St Mary's, because either he's taking a strong mark or he's getting a free kick when they go inside 450 Eltham as St Mary's bring this one out of defence.
As the ball's going to be kicked up towards centre wing, little chipping ball finds Hanlon. We might just quickly cross to Josh Ward, an update on Mitch Hocking, who we saw involved in a big collision a few moments ago. So not a concussion there, it was a heavy blow, but it looks like he's landed awkwardly as the ball now cuts back in the middle for Eltham. Montanaro has a paddock to run into, it's a spearing ball, and it's Michael still in the lead, and if you're a forward, that's the exact type of ball movement you want, coming straight through the corridor. Still, there's nothing the defender can do there, still out in the lead, took it on the chest, and again the turnover in the corridor. Eltham have numbers inside, they're able to make their opponents pay on the turnover, and Michael Still will. He's kicked the only goal of this term, which came about 9 minutes ago. There have been many behind since, but a chance to make it a match high lead if he can put this one through Michael Still. It's a slow approach here, a very straight approach, isn't it? As he comes in, back arch, and he's shanked it as well. It's really become contagious now, these behinds. 5-10 the moves to, and then 5-10-40. St Mary's is 3 goals 4-22. It's an 18-point ball game.
I think we can give a lot of the players in the competition a bit of slack in the first couple of weeks. 18 months of football haven't been playing, so the goal kicking might not be too great for the first couple of weeks, but I'm sure they'll come back as the season rolls on.
So the long kick out, the target for St Mary's is going to be Costello. He's a young man. They're putting plenty of work into him, but he's outmarked on this occasion by Tim Curry, who kicks a long ball to the hot spot for Eltham. That's a great defensive mark taken though. And it's a chance now for St Mary's to move through. Jasper, dangerous handball. They're just going to get away with it. They're flirting with danger though. Wide ball, and Yeomans was really strong in a one-on-one there. Took the mark on defensive 50, but just flirting a bit, aren't they? There's a few handballs out of defence for St Mary's that you just wonder if they've been on. He's going to kick across the face of goal Yeomans, and he has put it straight down the throat of Michael Still. And if you're thinking it's Easter coming early here, Michael Still, because that has absolutely laced him out. Yeoman's trying to kick across the face of goal, and he's put it straight in the bread basket of Michael Still.
Disappointing decisions lately from St Mary's coming out of defence. It's a bit lucky for them that Eltham really haven't made the most of it as of yet, but you feel like surely this will be the goal coming up for the Panthers.
So Still kicking from about 15 metres out. Slightly angle, but a player of Still's calibre is back in to put it straight through, which he does. And Eltham moved to 6 goals 10-46. Still second goal there, moves in 24 points clear of St Mary's, who are 3 goals 4-22. And you know, it's a warm day, and you can understand some players early in the contest starting to fatigue, probably earlier than they normally would have, but that's a pretty hard mistake to accept as a coach, isn't it? Going back across the goal and put it straight down the opposition full forward throat. And what it also does for Still, it's a confidence builder, because he's had multiple shots at goal, only had one to that point in time, and it's a gift to him right on the edge of the goal square.
And Fabian Crowley spoke about that at quarter time to St Mary's. He said they're kicking their goals, but they're kicking a lot of them from the turnovers from St Mary's, so he wanted to tighten that up. Unfortunately, another one's come in and Still able to get pounce on that as St Mary's get the quick clearance out of the centre here.
And here's a real opportunity as they go in the direction of Robert Todd. Maybe push the opponent in the back, allowed to go on, did well. Todd kept the ball alive, handball inside, looking for Ronalds, is still kept in. A good tackle laid there by Tim Curry. I think the umpire might pay holding the ball here, he does. Hot on the whistle, and the free kick goes against Jordan DuPont to Tim Curry.
Eltham were just flooding back there when that ball going inside 50. You had Sinclair, Curry and then O'Sullivan just getting back, putting real pressure on the St Mary's forwards there.
It's a dangerous ball out of defensive 50 here from Eltham. It gives a real sight, ball spills to ground level. Trying to charge through there, looks to be Tane Cotter. Paddled well, kept the ball alive. Hocking's back out there, he won a handball there, but the ball's been turned over and Woods pushed off an opponent, gave a handball out for Weatherall, but it's going to come back in because it only went as far as Dambrauskas, lowered the eyes, somehow it got through to Cotter, who really darted a nice ball to Dean, who's played on. I don't think he thought it was 15, but he didn't play to the whistle there. Kicks to the hot spot, Todd charged the footy, a chance for Hanlon, went without it, now he lays a tackle on Weatherall. We're about 15 out from the St Mary's goal, Curry laid a tackle, Hanlon goes in again, stripped his team out of the ball, and now we'll have a ball up, 25 out from the St Mary's goal. And Nick Dean, now, to be honest, I didn't think it was 15, but the umpire blew the whistle, so you can understand why he played on. It's a good ball in by Cotter again.
As Williamson gets the tap down for Eltham, and it's going to be Nicholas Gedge on the bottom of this pack. He's wrapped up, and the umpire's going to ball it up once again. Probably about 25-30 metres out from St Mary's goal, so a good opportunity here if they can get a quick kick out towards the big six.
Desperately need the next one, don't they? They're 24 points in arrears. The last 3 goals of the game have gone to Eltham as a quick shot out of the where Costello hits the base of the post. You could hear the moans from the St Mary's supporters, nearly went in, and they are now 3-5-23 St Mary's. Eltham 6-10-46, 15 and a half played in this second term as the ball goes back to the goal square to Wetherell. Man of the mark with a push back to the paint of the centre of the goal square as per the new rules from 2019, and Wetherell chips the ball over the top. So the man in Abramov, who he gave it to, and then gets it back again, Wetherell. This time goes on the right boot. It's a nice ball out of D50. And now a chipping ball inside the corridor. There's a number of Panthers lined up. Montanaro took the mark. They could have raffled that one there. It eventually comes out, and now they can move through the corridor to Woods. Woods spreads a wide ball. He's got a man in acres of space. It's Waldron. Will it sit up for him? It does. He can run to 50. Just propped there. High ball inside 50, and a strong mark's been taken overhead.
It's O'Regan.
It's O'Regan who's taken the mark and would love to open his account in his Eltham debut with a goal. Just missed a play, but it all came from that slow ball that went back to the corridor where there was 3 Eltham players who really each of them could have taken that mark unopposed, and once Montanaro took the mark, he knew straight away, get the ball moving on. Woods was further up the ground, and then once Waldron was spotted up, it was just a matter of picking the right option, which he did.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Waldron had just come on the field. He might have well done because he was just had the whole win to himself basically as the kick towards goal from O'Regan just hangs out to the right of goal. So another behind for the Panthers here. That'll move them to 6 goals 11-47, leading the Borough 3 goals 5-23.
A good quarter from Montanaro. We talked about him in the quarter time break. He's been in a lot of it early, a few clearances, and just finding his teammates with ease at the moment. So good from him.
So yeah, as you said, we can excuse players for being rusty given it's the first game in 18 months. This quarter combined the two sides, 2 goals 9 in perfect conditions, warm, not a breath of wind. As the ball's intercepted by Balance from the kick in, gave a handball off, and they're going to move back inside 50 again here. Eltham kick to the top of the square, ball falls to the front of the pack. Abramov snapping, ball is just missing narrow, and Eltham moves to 6 goals 12-48. St Mary's 3-5-23, 25 points to margin. And just looking now, you just get the feeling that when it gets to the contested ball, the Eltham aerial presence now, the likes of Curry, Sinclair, obviously in the forward line still Williamson, they're really starting to dominate the game, and it's making it really hard for St Mary's to find any exits out of their defensive 50, as the option on this occasion is Jonas, who tried to mark from behind, didn't infringe, said the umpire, but Eltham still have all the numbers, comes out to Abramov, short ball inside, and they are queuing up here for Eltham now, and taking the mark on the chest about 30 metres out from goal, on a probably 45-degree angle, is Jarvis, who had a few looks at it in the first quarter, hasn't registered a score, but a chance to go back here and extend the margin beyond 5 goals if he can kick truly.
So Jarvis now lines up. It's a strong straight kick and straight through the middle of the big six. So he has a 7th for the Panthers. They move to 7 goals 12-54, leading the Borough 3 goals 5-23.
That's 2 of the last 3 inside 50s for Eltham now, where the players bringing it in and had a paddock of space in front of them. So St Mary's just not being that diligent in terms of where their opponents are. That's 2 inside 50s the last 3 now, where they've had that opportunity and it's resulted in a goal from one of them.
It's a critical stage of the game, sorry Jared, but at the moment now, because St Mary's first quarter was really promising, especially the back half. Started this quarter really well without putting anything on the board. You don't want to get blown away now. Obviously, they're still in the contest. It's a big deficit of 31 points. They can manufacture the next 2 goals. You're right back in it. But what you don't want to do in round 1 is end up on the receiving end of a hiding. So they've just got to stick fat with this game here. As the ball's back in the middle of the ground, allowed to go on, and St Mary's will get the clearance. Hanlon tried to paddle in front of himself. Also at ground level, he goes again, charging through. This is Todd right on attacking 50 for the St Mary's Footy Club. And the umpire eventually calls for the ball. That was going nowhere with plenty of players standing over the footy, but can they get one here as we tick towards time on of the second term? Haven't hit the goal this quarter, St Mary's. Just 5 behinds to the tally for the term. There's an opportunity present here. There's a lot of numbers around the footy. and the umpire will have to call for it once again, umpire Alex Langdon, and he'll throw the ball up, 45 out from St Mary's attacking goal face. Throws the ball up. Cotter won it down nicely. At ground level, Cotter was held without the footy. He won a free kick here. He was held without the ball, and for a young player, it was actually expertly done because he knew if he took possession, he'd be tackled straight away, so he paddled rather than taking the ball. And McCaffer, well, there's probably nothing he could do other than try and make the tackle in the hope that Cotter would take possession. And in his attempts to put the pressure on, he's infringed on the youngster for St Mary's, who is his club's only multiple goal scorer, kicked 2 in the first term, and a chance to aim at his side's first goal since the 25-minute mark of the first term. Tane Cotter lining up for goal number 3.
Man of the mark, standing about 40 metres out from goal. Cotter kicks from the paint of 50, hangs it out to the right of the goal. So another behind for St Mary's. They move to 3 goals, 6 and 24 in this one. They trail up by 30 points from 7 goals, 12-54. As Eltham look to bring this one out of defensive 50 by Kyle O'Sullivan. He runs about 20 metres and gets his kick off towards centre wing for the Panthers. There's a big contest around it, and Eltham going to get a quick clearance out of this one, look to go forward once again.
Well, I'm getting an unkind bounce. Originally was Gedge, but he went in again for St Mary's, won the ball and kicked towards half forward. The target, we're getting a bad bounce. Originally was DuPont, but it went straight to his teammate in Hanlon, but he was stripped of the footy as soon as he took possession, and now it's Weatherall on the attack from half back. It's a lovely kick through the corridor for Eltham. Spots up a teammate there in Bell Chambers, who gave it to Avramov, put him under the pump, and his handball might be turned over. Bell Chambers went in again to make up for the previous error, and he's illegally disposed of the football holding the ball, and the free kick's going to go to Nathan Jasper right in the centre square here at Eltham Central Park. Turns and goes to his skipper and Dylan Ronalds, had to beat 2, couldn't quite do it. Keys came over the top, spoilt and picked up the footy, gave it to McCaffer by a hand, who sweeps a handball to Glasgow, shovels a handball over the top to Cam Sullivan, kicks inside 50, won't quite find a target, and now a chance on the counter-attack for St Mary's. They've got men queuing up through the corridor. Taking the mark there was McGibbon, gave a handball off, and a little ball inside 50, Cotter the target, couldn't take the mark. DuPont kept it alive, tried to find a teammate Gordon who was in space, but he overcooked it. Weatherall takes the mark and gives off to Brent McCaffer.
McCaffer gives the handball straight back to Weatherall. In goes a quick kick inside into the middle of Eltham Central Park to Bronson Glasgow. Glasgow bursts through the middle and kicks along. St Mary's defender gets a couple of hands to it, but it's going to be Alex Bellchambers who snaps around the body, and he's going to find Daniel Jarvis in the left forward pocket for the Panthers.
Reckon you're playing that, say you meant that kick?
Did well to get there, Jarvis. Very tight angle on this one.
Slewed off the side by Bell Chambers. He was having a shot at goal, and in the end Jarvis marked this about 15 out from goal, right on the boundary line, so he kept it alive. It's going to be a tough kick, but it does open up for a right footer, which Jarvis is. So kicked the game's most recent goal. This time here, tougher angle, and he's kept it to the near side. So Eltham moves to 7 goals, 13-55. St Mary's 3 goals, 6-24. If we go back a few minutes, O'Sullivan running out of the goal square before. I reckon he might have gone too far. He might have got away with
it. Almost got 50 by the time he kicked it.
I know that you get the benefit of the doubt and it's a 15-metre square, but he did end up a long way from home without bouncing the footy. As the ball now is returned to play, and a long kick for the Borough gets right to centre wing. There's a chance the ball getting at the back. Weatherall read it best. He went to ground with the footy, was able to get a handball out though. And the ball now in dispute. Lots of players on it. McGibbon laid a good tackle for St Mary's. The ball somehow came out of the pack. Bit of a rugby scrum goes on once again. And this time it's not coming out. We'll have a ball up. True centre wing. Eltham 55. St Mary's 24. 23 and a half played in the second term.
You would think just before half-time the Borough just needs to get a goal, just to really settle themselves a little bit like the first quarter, just getting that momentum back on their hands. If Eltham get the next one, it might be difficult coming out of half-time.
It's Snell who snaps this one out of the contest, but it's going to be a mark taken by Nathan Jasper. He's had an incredible first half year of defence for St Mary's. Now the ball's been down there a lot, but he's been rebounding a fair bit for the Borough.
He gives off to Maggio, and that's the promising thing for a St Mary's supporter. You look at their best players so far, Cotter, Jasper, also Maggio shown a bit as well. All youngsters in this side. Hocking went for the ambitious fly from behind, couldn't bring it to ground level. Sinclair now at half back for Eltham, tried to break the couldn't quite, and the ball trickles out of bounds, and they'll have a throw in. 60 out from St Mary's goals. Nick Sacco just mentioned a moment ago. Next goal critical that St Mary's get it to stay in this contest. They've been able to just get the ball back in their territory in the last few minutes, but without any avail on the scoreboard. But this is an opportunity game with the ball inside, attacking 50. Cup comes down to Nick Dean, who just sharks the ball and gets it inside 50. Ronalds couldn't trap it, but at ground level, there's some St Mary's men. Yeomans tried to break through the tackle, ran into a brick wall on that occasion, and he's dispossessed. Glasgow, he was going nowhere. Great tackle. Ball spills out. McCaffrey took the advantage. Probably wasn't quite on for Williamson. He couldn't take the mark, and it spilled out, and Dambrauskas took a mark. He was upended as he kicked, so a bit going on here. And the umpire, it's going to come back. It's actually going to go to Eltham, so it's Woods who's going to win a free kick. And we talk about some turnovers for St Mary's. This one really hurts. They were charging forward. Ball comes back 30 metres, and Anton Woods is going to get a free kick just forward of centre wing for Eltham.
And he's going to go short over the top. Looks like he's gone to Matthew Keys there. He's wrapped up by Dambrauskas, not Bell Chambers, sorry, for Eltham. He's taken high by Dambrauskas, so Bell Chambers will get it quickly. He'll move it on to Jackson Weatherald. A long kick towards goal, and that is a beautiful kick from Jackson Weatherald for Eltham's 8th goal of the game.
How good is that? And the Eltham faithful, they'll love that. Obviously, they got accustomed to seeing that through the years of 2010 through to 2013. Weatherald on that left boot, and he's put it through from 50 quite comfortably, and they extend now to a 37-point lead. Eltham now 8 goals, 13-61. St Mary's 3-6-24. That makes it 4 unanswered goals for the term for Eltham. 5 in a row for the game. Of course, they kicked one just prior to quarter time, and they now lead by game high 37 points. Eltham 8-13-61. St Mary's 3-6-24. As the ball back into the middle of the ground, it's going to be given going up against Campbell in the ruck. Campbell won it down convincingly, found Glasgow to McCaffrey, who's just ticking over now with the possessions. Gets it inside 50. Big Packers are pushing it back and all that. The umpire spotted it. It's a St Mary's ball, but advantage will be played. They can switch the play now to the far side. Good looking kick to Kassane. He's got a man over the top. He wants to move it on quickly, and he does. Daisley takes the mark, played on straight away, did well, ran straight through the man on the mark there. Spearing ball, nearly found a man, it spills down, left foot shot on goal, comes from Gedge. How will this one bounce? Not kindly if you're a St Mary's supporter, and it's a minor score for Mick Gedge, and it's Eltham 8-13-61, St Mary's 3-7-25.
And moving this ball on quickly, Glasgow takes the mark and goes straight away. He kicks it out to Cameron Sullivan. Just defensive side of centre wing. He finds a short one to Abramov, who hands it off to McCaffrey. McCaffrey long towards goal for Eltham, or towards the forward 50 rather. And St Mary's trying to get a handball out, but it's Thomas Cantwell who gets one, and he finds a teammate. Can't quite see who that was, but it's a long kick towards goal. And I think he's
that was
kicked
O'Regan.
So Mark O'Regan, on his debut for the club, kicks a goal. And another one for Eltham. They're really turning it on late in this second quarter.
They sure are. They're piling on the pain now for St Mary's. 9-13-67 Eltham. St Mary's 3 goals, 7-25, and it is the red time goals that Eltham are putting through now, which are really seeing them extend away. 3 goals in the last 7 minutes, and they move out to a pretty heavy advantage now. Margin for Eltham is extended to 42 points. 9-13-67 plays 3-7-25, and again, boys, it was that turnover back through the corridor. Loopy one that went inside, was cut off, and then again, we've said it a few times throughout the call. Once you turn it over there, it's just a matter of Eltham picking the right option, because you're going to have loose men forward of the footy. As ball's thrown back up, big tackle laid in the middle of the ground there by Abramov, and the umpire's going to call for a second stoppage as Daisley makes his way back to his feet. And the ball's thrown up back in the middle of the ground. Again, it was Campbell who won it down nicely. Extracted out by Glasgow. He's had a massive second quarter. Kicks it towards centre half forward. Bouncing ball's a tough one to win. Bergman laid a good tackle for St Mary's. And the umpire not rewarded, but it'll be to no avail for St Mary's in the defensive end as the siren sounds. And at half time, Eltham has a game high lead of 42 points. The Panthers are 9 goals, 13-67. They lead St Mary's 3 goals, 7-25. And in that quarter, it was Eltham holding on 5 goals, 6 for St Mary's, just the 7 behinds after starting the term promisingly. It unfortunately for St Mary's